Money can buy happiness. And the majority of people who say that money can't buy happiness either have no idea what happiness is or they're already rich themselves. In my religion, the Sikh religion, and yes, it's pronounced Sikh, not Sikh, giving is a fundamental tenet of our religion. It's called seva. And my grandparents were refugees. In 1947, my home state of Punjab was severed. And if you were a Sikh and you were on the west side of Punjab, you had to leave or you were going to be killed. And my grandparents were on the west side of Punjab, so they had to pick up and leave. All my grandparents had, including my grandfather, was the clothes on his back and a sword in his hand. He didn't have money, he didn't have a place to stay, he lost family members, he lost his friends, and now he had to literally run east. And what he talks about during that journey is that the worst disease is poverty, because he saw extreme poverty to the point where he didn't have a place to sleep. He didn't even have food. And at that time and at that level of poverty, there was no concept of trying to help somebody else, because all of your effort, all of your energy, and all of your time was trying to figure out, how can I feed myself? My wife grew up with very little. She had a single mom who worked 7 days a week. They struggled to pay the bills, and money stress was always there. When you don't have money, or when you're struggling with money problems, money can absolutely buy happiness, because now money will solve some of the biggest problems in your life. The problem is we take this concept to an extreme, and then we assume that more money will make us more happy, and even more money will make us even more happy. And the more money we have, the happier we'll become, and that's where people get wrong. Because the reality is, if you want to live a happy and fulfilled life, you have to live a happy and fulfilled life, not just a full bank account. And what that means is you have to understand the different aspects of life. And this is where I created something called the quadruped theory, where in my belief, in my opinion, there's 4 aspects to life. And if you want to live a happy and fulfilled life, you have to be fit or successful in these 4 areas. At the bottom is physical fitness, because if you can't breathe, if you're so sick, the only thing that you want is to be healthy again. So you have to take care of your physical health. That means eat good, get some rest, and take care of your physical body, because it's the only body that we have. Then it's your mental health, your mental fitness. If you are unhappy, not just because you have financial struggles, but because you're depressed, because you're anxious, because you're miserable, you don't have people around you, you're stuck in a toxic relationship, that is something that more money isn't going to solve. Yeah, more money might be able to get you into a therapist, it might be able to get you into a rehab center, but you have to understand that the mental health aspect is different than money. I know many people, and I'm sure you do too, who think that money will solve all of the problems. If I just have more money, more people will like me. Well, the reality is, if you go and achieve that money, and then you realize that people don't like you, well, now you're going to be even more miserable now than you were before. After that, it's the spiritual fitness. What is your purpose on this earth? And the simplest way to think of that is, what are you passionate about? And what I mean by that is, if you could change one thing about people on the earth, what would that be? And this is something that once you have money, you're going to realize how important this is, because once you have money, well, now you're going to still need a reason to get out of bed every single day. And if you have money, more money is not going to fulfill that purpose. So what are you here for? What purpose, what service do you want to provide the world? And after that, this is where money comes in. Financial fitness at the top of this triangle, because it's like the icing. You can't put good icing on a crappy cake and expect the cake to taste good. You need good icing and a good cake. This is where understanding how money plays a part in your life. Money is just one part in your life. If you don't have money, it can absolutely take away your happiness, because if you don't have money, not only are you not going to be able to take your wife or your husband on that vacation that they've been dreaming of going, you can't take your kids on that trip that they want to go on, you can't give your kids the education that they want, you can't pay for your parents' health care, you can't pay for your bills, you can't go to the nice restaurants. These things can create stress, and then on top of that, if you have bills that you can't pay, you have a housing cost that you can't pay for, you're struggling to spend money, that creates a lot of stress. This can create physical issues, this can create mental issues, this can create spiritual issues, and of course that creates financial issues. So yes, if you don't have money, it can absolutely take away the happiness. And at that point, if you have more money, if you understand how to make money, if you understand how to attract this money, that money will make you happier. But after a certain point, more money will not make you more happy. Going from $0 to $100,000 is going to make you way happier than going from $200,000 to $300,000. That relative happiness is negligible compared to going from nothing or negative to that first $100,000. So when we talk about happiness, the happiness comes from achieving that financial freedom, having some sort of financial success. That way you can live your life and not have to stress about money. But beyond that, more money is not going to make you more happy. But more money will allow you to do things that make you happier. See, once you've built a decent level of wealth, more money is only going to solve money problems. It's not going to solve these. And this is where now when you have money, well, you can do more of the things you like. If you like going on vacations and you like traveling, you can buy more vacations. If you like giving, you can do more giving. If you like eating at nice restaurants, you can eat at nicer restaurants. For me, when I started to achieve more wealth in my life, I didn't make many changes, but the changes that I did make was I started to travel. I had never traveled, and then I started to travel. And then I started to travel in luxury on some instances. I don't always fly in first class, I don't always fly in business class, but sometimes if I'm flying international, I will pay 5 times more to sit in a business class seat. If I'm flying for 2 hours, probably not, if it's going to cost me a whole lot more. If I'm going to stay in an Airbnb, maybe I'll pay for an upgraded luxe Airbnb. I have that option now to choose how I want to travel, but I don't have to just because I have money or because I don't have money. I get to make that decision based off of what I want, not based off of the price. And that relieves a lot of stress because now I don't make decisions based off of what something costs. I make decisions based off of what I want. Money problems are a leading cause of divorce. Fact. Money problems are a leading cause of depression. Fact. Money problems are a leading cause of suicide. Fact. Money can absolutely make you happier, especially when you're struggling with money. But once you achieve that money, once you achieve that basic level of wealth, now the next question is how do you live a more fulfilled and truly happy life? And the way that you do that is by understanding how money plays a part in your life. Financial education is extremely important because when you don't have money, because we're not taught about money, well, now that can cause a lot of problems in your life, and it can ruin this, it can ruin this, and it can ruin this. Not to mention that it's already ruining this. This is why you have to understand money, you have to get smart with money, and you have to get some of this money for yourself. I want you to become wealthy, that way then you can be better in your physical health. You have more time for the gym, you have more money for healthier food, you have more time to spend on your mental health, you have more time for your spiritual health. I want you to achieve wealth, that way you can do this, and of course have all the nice things as well. But understanding that some people are so poor that all they have is money is also true. Because money can buy happiness, but it's only going to buy you happiness up to a certain point. After that, more money, it's just nominal happiness, but it gives you more financial freedom. Inflation is a silent tax. It makes regular people poorer, and it also increases spending power. Because inflation is what? It's when you're increasing the amount of dollars out there. So for decades and decades, the government and the central bank have been working to increase the amount of dollars out there. Most people never notice it happen, but what does